Hello everyone, I hope that your week is starting off well. I have got a Cricut Monday for you today, and I'm going to be using the new cartridge that Close to My Heart just came out with. It's called Complete Creativity, and it has a bunch of scrapbook and sort of daily type of album layouts in it. So I'm going to start out, I'm going to do this Cricut Monday in two parts. This first one is going to be going through the scrapbook layout. I'm going to do it exactly how they have it planned. It's really adorable. I'll show you how to go in and purchase the cartridge, and then how to find that cartridge in Design Space so you can use everything from it. And then in part two, I'm going to use the designs from the cartridge, from the layouts, to create several cards, just so I can show you the versatility. You don't always have to go with the design that's there. You can ungroup things and make them your own. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to hop over to my computer here, and I'm starting here on my website. So I have that linked down below for you. Just click that link and this is where it will take you. This is the home page. And then to find the Cricut cartridges, there are several. You want to go here to where it says more. You're going to click on that, and then you go down to Cricut Collections, and that's going to show you all the collections. This one at the top is the newest one, called Complete Creativity, and this layout right here is actually the one that we are going to do. So in order to purchase this, you're going to scroll down to the bottom where you'll see this little Cricut logo. You'll click on that and it'll open up where you can purchase it on Cricut. So here you can see this is the Close to My Heart area. It shows all of the different collections they have. Again, this is the newest one, so it's going to be right here at the top. You're going to click Add to Cart, and then you can go ahead and check out like you normally would. So once you're finished with that, then you're going to hop over to Design Space. So here I am on my home page, and I'm going to click New Project. So that's going to take me into Design Space. And then I'm going to go add images, just like I would if I wanted to search in the image library. I'll click on that. And then up at the top here is Images, Categories, and Cartridges. So I'm going to click on Cartridges, and then I can go and search. And I'm just going to put in Complete, maybe. And then it will pull up this Complete Creativity. So I'm going to click on that. Over here on the side, you'll see that it's purchased. I'm going to click on this, and it's going to show me all of the designs. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll down real quick just so you can see all the different images. I love this Christmas one. I will probably do that one for you as well. This is the Halloween one we're going to do. There's a couple other Halloweens here and here. Those are both really cute too. So I'm going to click on this. You'll see down here, whoops, it shows up at the bottom. So I know I've got it selected. And then I'll click Insert Images. I'm going to zoom out here so you can see the full thing. There we go. And this is all grouped together. So everything is laid out exactly how it should be. And you don't have to change anything if you have 12 by 12 cardstock or paper that you're going to use. Now, I of course have to make a change because I don't have any white cardstock or paper that is 12 by 12. I just happen to be out of it at the moment. And the way that this is laid out, because I've already looked at it, this Halloween, because things are, some of them are attached together, it has all been grouped. So I'm going to make one small change here, and I'm just going to walk you through that because you may be in the same predicament that I'm in. So the first thing I'm going to do is click Ungroup over here in the Layers palette, Ungroup, and that's going to split everything into its own individual layer. And then I'm going to grab Happy over here, and I'm just going to tab that down to make sure I don't grab anything that I don't want to grab. So now I can easily get that. I'm going to pull this down here. I'll just scroll down a little bit. So this whole thing has been attached together, so it's all going to cut exactly like you see it. Now, I don't want that, and because this is a purchased image, now sometimes this would be grouped together, sometimes it would be attached, and if you'll look over here, the ungroup is grayed out, so I don't have the option of ungrouping this into separate categories or into separate layers. And if you look down here, the attach is grayed out, which lets me know that I'm not able to unattach all of these things. So, and this happens a lot with purchased designs, so I'm going to show you the way around it. So we're going to go ahead and slice this, just like we did in one of the previous ones. So I'm going to click Shapes, and I'm going to grab 3 squares. And of course they all went up to the very top. So let me drag 1, 2, 3. I'll just drag those down a little bit. I'm going to take this first one, I'm going to put it over Happy. Just like that, being real careful. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see that a little bit better. I want to make sure that I'm covering the entire Happy, but not any of the Halloween. And I'm going to drag this across here. Again, covering all of the Happy, but none of the Halloween below it. Then I'm going to select both of those, and I will click on Slice. And this is going to separate Happy for me. So I will get rid of that layer, I'll get rid of this layer, and now I can move, oops, didn't go away. Now I can move the Happy sentiment, and it will cut separately from the others. Now I'm going to do the same thing here. So here you can see that the H is separate and the A and the L are combined. So what I'm going to do is just cover this portion of this. I want to make sure, again, I'm only covering the H, A, L, because when I slice this, this is all going to still be attached together. So again, I will go ahead and select all of this and click Slice. And now I can move this up and it is separate. Okay, and I'll get rid of these because I don't want to cut those. I'm going to grab this third box here, and I'm going to do the same thing with the labels down here, making sure that I am only hitting the labels and none of the Halloween or the rest of the Halloween. I'm going to select that, I'm going to slice it, and this is going to separate those labels for me from the rest of the Halloween. That didn't go quite right. See, I have this little section left down here, so that's my fault. I did not have my box over far enough. So I'm going to click Undo a couple of times. And this, I think, should be, nope, I gotta go back. One more. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my box again, and I'm gonna make sure I go far enough to cover all of that. There we go. And once again, I will select this, click Slice, and now we should be good. Yes, so that's, the whole thing is separate there, and I can get rid of these. Now I'm just gonna double check. This should fit fine. Yeah, if you see at the top here, this measurement, 7.68, that's gonna fit fine on my 8.5 by 11 paper that I'm gonna be using. So now I can take this all back up here if I want, and go ahead and just line it up so that it looks the way that it originally looked. But now that it's separate, it will cut separately for me. There we go. Now I can go ahead and I'm going to zoom out here. I'm going to select all of this, and I'm going to group it again. This is not necessary to cut. It just helps when you want to look back at this and know what the original design looked like as you're putting everything together. Okay, now I'm going to click Make It, and this will take us to all of our paper layers. Now, because I'm using 8.5 by 11 for my white, I'm going to click over here, Material Size, and I will go to 8.5 by 11 letter. And that's going to change all of the white to 8.5 by 11, and here you can see everything will fit just fine for cutting. And while I'm at it, I'm going to check the rest. So I have 12 by 12 for the black. This is going to fit fine. That's going to fit fine. I have 12 by 12 for the orange. That's going to fit fine. And then we have the lighter orange. I wonder why those are on separate sheets. I don't think that's necessary. Perhaps they are slightly different colors. So I'm going to, I don't want to waste my orange paper, so I'm going to move these to another, to the previous page. So I'm going to click on this, and then I will click the 3 dots, and I will hit Move to Another Mat. And then I will select this one here, hit confirm. And now you'll see it showing up here. I'm not sure why they did that. It looks like it's the same color to me, but they must have had some reason for it. So we will just skip this mat when it comes to cutting because there's going to be nothing on that one. Okay, next one is yellow. I am using a smaller piece of paper for this, but I can tell that's going to fit just fine. And then I have 12 by 12 for my webs that are going to go on the gray, and there is no getting around that because you need a full 12 by 12. Lastly, I've got a purple. I'm using an 8.5 by 11 on that as well, so I want to run that. Actually, that will fit with an 8. I'm going to check these here. Yeah, they have all of these running up and down. Now, if you are afraid you're going to get confused with the lineup of that, you can also grab this and just click 8.5 by 11, and it'll again show you here that that's how the paper is running, and that way you don't have to forget which way you're doing it. But mine are all running the same way on this one, so that shouldn't be an issue. Okay, I'm going to go back up here to white, and I'm going to click continue. It's going to connect to my machine. This sometimes takes a minute because I'm using Bluetooth. It's just easier not to have to plug my machine into my computer every time. Someday I hope to have a setup where I can leave it plugged in. Dreams. All right, we are connected now. And the thickest cardstock I am using is 80 pound, which is going to be a Nina. So I'm going to change this. I'm going to go into popular. I'll click medium 80 pound cardstock. It's going to tell me to load my fine point blade in clamp B, which I have already done. And I'm going to go over here to my cardstock. So these are the colors that I'm using. I've got a dark gray, a black for my background and the photo placements, purple, orange, and I've pulled in, instead of a plain orange, I have pulled in from the Spooktacular set. I made some cards using this and the Frightful Friend stamp set earlier in the Halloween series, and I have some leftover paper. So I'm going to mix this in to do the lighter orange color. And then I've got a yellow and of course my Nina. So I do already have my first mat loaded, and I am using the LightGrip mat. This is my favorite to use whenever I am doing anything with a lighter type of paper. It just tears the paper less. It has a great stick to it, but it's not as sticky as the regular mat. So it's definitely what I recommend for paper crafting, unless you're using a chipboard or something like that. Okay, so I'm ready to go. Everything's lined up, and I'm going to take this over to my Cricut. And I'm going to make sure that my phone is recording properly. Okay. Oops. Of course I bumped it. All right, I'm going to load in my mat. And I've got my blinking Cricut light, so I will click go. While that's cutting, I know that my next mat is also going to be white cardstock, so I will go ahead and get that ready as well. And I am going to continue going through and cutting each of the mats as they come up. But again, I know you have seen a Cricut run many a time, so I'm going to skip forward and I'll see you once I have everything cut out, and then we will get this layout put together. All right, so I have got everything cut out, and now it's time to put everything together. I did want to let you know before I get started, I actually changed the settings when I cut out the Halloween letters and these little strips to write on. I did them twice on 2 different settings with the regular blade, and these I just could not get them to cut out properly. Most of the letters were okay and I could trim them, but I decided since I was going to recut these that I would use my deep cut blade. So I still use the same Nina cardstock, but I used the 100-pound cardstock setting and I switched over to my deep blade, and that worked great. Now if you're using regular 80-pound cardstock or 60-pound, whatever you have, you should be fine with a regular blade, but I did just want to let you know that in case you're using the same as me, so you don't waste the paper that I did. All right, I'm going to start out by putting all of the smaller elements together, and then I will do the full page process for you. But as usual, I'm going to speed this up, and I will meet you back at the end once I have everything finished.
Okay, so this is as wide as I can get my camera to go, but I think we've got most of it, at least in here. So this is the finished layout. My colors are slightly different than what they used because I don't have the pack of the Close to My Heart cardstock yet. Eventually I will get that. So I've used from my stash. This is mostly Recollections. The white is Nina, and then of course I did mix in some from that Spooktacular set that I had picked up earlier, this pattern paper here. I, for the most part, have glued everything down with art glitter glue, and then I did pop up a few things using some foam tape. So I popped up the happy and these 3 little strips down here, as well as the pumpkins over there. So I think this turned out really cute. I am not a huge scrapbooker, mostly because I don't take a lot of photographs. I love the layout and I love doing the work of putting this stuff together, but I just never seem to remember to take a lot of pictures. Most of my pictures are of the things that I create, so that's what's on my photo roll in my phone. So I hope you guys liked this. If you have any questions, let me know below. And for those of you who want to do some card making with these images, stay tuned. I will have a part 2 for you where we will make a couple cards using these.